YouTube, we're going to talk about the news today, and what we're going to talk about is been all over the news is the assassination of the United Healthcare CEO in New York City. And it's kind of ironic that this took place in New York City, and that's why I want to make this video today. There's been a lot of rumors going around with the police forces and the government and what they want you to know, and we're going to try and debunk some of those, and we're just going to talk about what may or may not be true. So before we get started, I'm going to let you know that this is a FN 545 tactical, and it has a suppressor on it, and it is not loaded. I'm going to show you that, and we're clear to make this video. So the reason I'm showing you this is a suppressed pistol, and the shooter that happened to commit this murder used a suppressor, and the government is all up in arms, and this is gonna be huge in the news about suppressors and how dangerous they are. So we're gonna start off by saying that the New York Police Department originally said that he used a Station 6 V9, and what that is, that's an NFA only pistol that's actually, it has an integrated suppressor on it. It's very expensive, and it is an NFA item, and the likelihood that he used that is slim to none, and Slim just walked out the door. So what that gun is, it's a single shot, and it has an fully integrated suppressor on it. It has little rubber wipers in it that turns a supersonic round into a subsonic round, and it's incredibly expensive to buy one. They're single shot only. You have to cycle the action every single time it's fired. It is a super quiet gun, but it is registered under the NFA. It's highly regulated, and he did not use that, folks. If he used that, we would already know who that thing was registered under. Those things are highly traceable. Anything that's an NFA item is highly traceable, and they instantly know who's been in possession of that. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that out the water right now and say that he did not use that Station 6 V9 weapon. So what did he use? Well, my theory is that he used a homemade suppressor. And folks, you can't stop people from buying tools and Googling how to build stuff, and to build a suppressor is fairly easy. But in a true pistol suppressor like this particular one here, this is a rugged Obsidian 45, you have what they call a booster on the end of that. So if you grab this gun here and you pull on it, you'll see that it's spring loaded. And the reason that is this is a very heavy unit that attaches to the front of your barrel, and in order for this pistol to cycle, it has to have a counteracting spring on the front. If you do not have this booster here, this gun will not cycle, and every single time you will have to cock the slide back and load a round in the chamber. This is kind of like a Browning design barrel where it tilts up. So when you cycle this, if you look really close, you'll see that the actual barrel tilts, and it's very prevalent when you have a suppressor put on it. Now, do I think that he had a actual registered suppressor? I do not. The suppressor is the same as the pistol I was just explaining to you. These things are highly regulated. You have to go through an extensive background check with the FBI and the ATF, and that thing is only registered to one person, unless you're on a trust, and they know every single person on the trust. So the likelihood of that being a truly registered NFA suppressor is slim to none, folks. If it was a registered suppressor, we would already know who was involved in that, and they would be under investigation. It would be in the news. But what they did is they released a photo of the actual gun, and it looked to me to be a home built, like a Polymer 80 or something like that. There's been rumors that it's been 3D printed, and that could be so. But it was a put together, non-serialized gun, and in my opinion, it was a home-built suppressor, and I'm going to tell you why. So inside these suppressors, when you buy one of these modern suppressors, it has this booster on it that allows the gun to cycle. If you watch the video of this guy committing this murder, he fires the gun and then he cycles it. And when he cycles it, he actually has problems with the round feeding, because most of the time when you cycle a gun, you go back and you let the thing go home, and that will chamber the round. Well, if you help it along a little bit, if you help it home, and sometimes you can have a failure to feed or something like that, a malfunction. And if you watch the video as he did it, he had a malfunction. He cycled it again. He started pounding the back of the slide. And what that does is that puts it in battery. And that is the number one clue that he had a homemade suppressor, because that gun would not cycle with just firing it. He did not have this little booster right here on the end that has a spring action that when you pull on it, it counters the slide acting. So I believe he had a homemade suppressor. Now let's talk about the New York City very restrictive gun laws. The only people that had a handgun out on that street on the morning that this murder was committed were lawbreakers. They were not lawmakers, they were lawbreakers. It is illegal to have a suppressor whatsoever anywhere in the state of New York, and I do not believe that you can carry a handgun in the city of New York City. So this, with all these restricted laws to prevent crime and all that, this guy managed to get a handgun with a homemade suppressor that was not registered into New York City and pulled it out and murdered somebody out on the street. Now, I want to ask you this. How well did those laws work? They didn't work at all. That's why these people that pass these laws, these restricted gun laws, all they're doing is hurting law-abiding citizens that can buy stuff like this. The NFA items have been used in about zero crime ever. I do not know of one case where it's been documented that a true NFA registered item was used in a crime. And if it was, please enlighten me and let me know. The minute a crime is committed and there's an NFA item on it that was used, the serial number is so traceable, they can instantly tell you who has that. Now, if it was stolen, they can instantly go to the person that it was registered under, and they can start tracking from there. And we've heard nothing about the registered NFA item that was used in this murder. All we know is the guy had a quote-unquote 3D printed gun, and it had a suppressor on it. Now, how did he get it into New York City with these restrictive gun laws? Well, it's simple, folks. You broke the law. I mean, somebody that has the gumption to commit a murder right there on a busy street in probably the most populated city in the world by square mileage, people per square miles. I mean, that person is not going to be above making his own suppressor, carrying it across state lines, and committing a murder, and no gun laws are going to stop that. You're never going to stop somebody from buying a 3D printer, power tools, or anything like that to build something to do evil stuff. So the gun laws, the restricted gun laws, do not work, and this is a classic example of it. Now, what the government's going to try and do is tell you how evil these suppressors are. Well, the suppressor is not the part that is the deadly part. It is this part here, folks. It's the host weapon that the suppressor threads onto. And if you can pass a background check to buy this part, why should you have to go through the extensive amount of paperwork and the wait time to get the suppressor on the end? All the suppressor does is quiet it down. Quiet does not make it more deadly. If that guy would have pulled out a .357 Magnum revolver and shot that guy, the same result would have happened. The reason people didn't intervene is they were scared. This guy was a nutcase that shot somebody on a busy sidewalk in New York City. And nobody around there is armed if they are law-abiding citizens. So would you intervene if you did not have a weapon and you saw a guy that was crazy enough to kill somebody on the sidewalk in front of you? I know I wouldn't if I didn't have a weapon, and I would not have a weapon because I'm a law-abiding citizen. So these gun laws are absolutely ridiculous. And I just wanted to talk about some of these rumors that's going around. You would already know who this suppressor was registered to if it was a legit suppressor. It was an outlaw criminal who who had evil in his heart, and he went out to kill somebody, and he made it happen, and he ignored any laws that are on the books. He followed no laws. I mean, it's just endless the amount of laws that he broke, and no laws are going to stop criminals from committing crimes, folks. What it does, it prevents people from stopping somebody from committing a crime, and nobody around there had the ability to stop him that were law-abiding citizens, and I think that's sad, to be honest with you. But anyway, folks, he did not use a single shot NFA 9mm gun. He used a polymer frame 9mm is very similar to a Glock, and what I believe would be a homemade suppressor without a booster in it, and that's why the gun didn't cycle, and he was ready for that. If you watch, he knew that gun was going to malfunction, and he cycled it every time. The fact that he pounded on the back, he just had to put it in battery, and if you used a modern suppressor like this Obsidian 45 here, that would not have been a problem, because this gun will cycle with this on there. But anyway, folks, let me know what you think about some of these rumors that's going around, or do you think suppressors should be regulated under the NFA? I'd really like to hear that. It's not a weapon, it's not a destructive device, and it's not a firearm, so why should it be regulated under the NFA? But let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you very much for watching my video today, and you folks have a great day.